Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Lynd. Thanks for joining me today at the Netsync studios. Today, I have Jamie from AppDynamics. Hey, Jamie, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I've been in the industry now for about 25 years. I've sold software, I've sold professional services with global SIs. I spent a ton of time with IBM, actually during their software explosion, and then done a little time at startups and like I said, global systems integrators, so on the professional services side as well.
Very interesting. Well, I think everybody's heard about AppDynamics, but I don't know that everybody knows, why do customers care? What makes AppDynamics special in the marketplace?
It's really about visibility. So as customers are changing from digital transformations or legacy modernizations or some kind of data center improvement or refresh, there's a ton of focus on applications because applications are now the face of the customer. Never like in the past or never more present have applications really kind of been out in front of everything everybody's ever doing. So that visibility, truthfully, is what AppDynamics really gives customers like never before.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned visibility. I think I spent a lot of time with our C-level customers all over the world, and we hear visibility all the time, right? And it was interesting, right before we kicked this video off, you were telling me about how people don't realize that they have the data, or the ability to collect the data,
right,
and then show that. And that obviously is something that would be very compelling for a lot of customers.
It's actually, Cisco is starting to, and you're going to hear more about this, but Cisco is building a software contingent, a full stack observability being the prime focus right now, giving customers the awareness or understanding of data as it relates all the way from the end user all the way back to the storage and then down those individual infrastructure stacks. So it's a very compelling message as we grow that message around Cisco full stack observability, both vertically and horizontally across organizations' systems.
Fantastic. And as it's affectionately called out in the marketplace, AppD. I love that. It's a great acronym for it. But it's not just for Cisco. If you can get visibility across other things that are non-Cisco is right.
100%. AppDynamics and Cisco's FSO, and this is where I think Cisco's really starting to expand its awareness of the entire data center, and not just in the data center, but out in the cloud. So inevitably, we're looking at information in a number of different ways across a hybrid model of infrastructure, irregardless of what the environment or components it sits on. I think that's the real power, is when you take a look at the art of the possible across all of those different technologies that exist inside customers' environments.
Yeah, that's great. And what's kind of interesting about it too is that when you get that visibility, a lot of times it can be pretty shocking.
The quote I hear most from customers is, "I didn't know I could see that." It's amazing. They have this aha moment around, "Oh, I can get access to that data. I can show the revenue streams associated with these systems." That's empowering. That's the fundamental value proposition around AppDynamics. And as Cisco expands its FSO or full stack observability story, it's around the aha moment they have with that visibility.
Yeah, I love the word empowerment from that, right? Because you can see how all of a sudden having access and visibility in areas where you thought you didn't know what was going on, right? All of a sudden that has to be an empowering moment for a lot of C-levels and as well as network teams, et cetera.
As senior executives start to shift their operating models for this digital world, it's never been more relevant as they try to drive these digital models down through the organization, giving access to information as it meets that different layer of the organization. That's the empowering moment, because now they actually have a visual engagement around how they move forward, whether it's the customer experience, whether it's workloads that their teams are assigned to, or whether it's how do I create a better MTTR or mean time to resolve or repair. those are all impacting both internally and externally across the organization.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, thinking about that, what is the one thing you'd want somebody, if they're new to AppDynamics and they want to get started, how would a customer get started with AppDynamics?
It's really just about having a conversation with your Netsync rep or your AppDynamics rep, and understanding where the pain is. And that occurs at different levels. So depending on who you are, what are your challenges and what's the application that keeps you up at night? What are you worried about having phone calls on Saturday evening because something's down? If we can understand where that and what that is, we can come in and create a model that helps you support that application or that problem, and then go forward.
Yeah. So is this a pretty quick process? Is this cloud-based? Is this a very quick process to kind of take a look?
SaaS. Absolutely, it is. So we do a little groundwork on the front end, make sure we understand the pain, the systems that we need to touch. It is a SaaS-based solution that can actually be deployed. Then the agents deployed inside the customer environment pretty quickly. So it's a pretty, I wouldn't say it's touchless, but it's pretty efficient in the deployment of the technology.
So it sounds like time to value is going to be there pretty quickly.
Instantaneous, yeah. It's really, you see day one value immediately, especially around custom applications or applications that we can touch. Mm-hmm. You'll see value to code remediation or on systems that you're improving instantaneously. Day two value comes as you start to build out dashboards around and integrations into other systems to really start to extend that full stack observability across your organization. You'll have an aha moment, and then I'll say, okay, well, what else can I connect to this environment to give me better visibility across a broader or informational data point?
I'm gonna have to borrow that from you. I love that day two value moment. Yeah. I love that together. That is fantastic. I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, so as we wrap up, obviously we could talk about this all day, right? But what is the one thing that if you could only share with a customer, one thing, what would it be?
Yeah, it's visibility. I think Cisco's FSO strategy, and with AppDynamics kind of as a tip of the spear, it's visibility into areas that you have not been able to see before, and how they directly impact revenue and work around the operations teams and around your customers in your industry. I think that's fundamentally the impact.
So would you be fair to say, taking that, you'd want to take a look at your critical apps first, or the ones that are mission critical, day-to-day operations?
Yeah, what's your hardest? I mean, we don't shy away from what's your hardest problem. What's your most important thing? We want to run to that. We run to the fire, right? And we want to engage with you around taking on those tough challenges. So you can start small with an application, and then broaden as you start to get better aligned with how AppDynamics is going to help you. So we can either go after that big one, or we can take a application that maybe is on the side a little bit and get comfortable with that, and then go after the next thing.
That's interesting, because as a former CIO and CISO myself several times, a lot of the CIOs and CISOs I talk to out there in the marketplace, both public sector, commercial, and enterprise, they're always looking to get some quick wins, and build off those wins as you described.
Right.
So I think that's a pretty exciting strategy and a compelling strategy for a lot of folks. Well, look, Jamie, I really appreciate you joining me today and talking about AppDynamics. If you want to know more about AppDynamics, you can see on our website, or you can go to Cisco's website and learn more about AppDynamics and some of the great things they're doing for customers out there today.
That's great.
Thanks for joining me, Jamie.
Thanks, Mark. Take care.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.